Alright, we made it through yet another hurricane. Woo, go team!
Whoop-de-doo, yeah! There's only another one potentially forming in the Gulf as we speak.
This week has been a goddamn nightmare.
Yeah, it has.
But welcome to Under the Bridge, everybody.
Welcome to Under the Bridge, indeed.
I'm Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And I am Greg, aka Greg.
And this is our podcast where we talk news of the pop culture variety. Sometimes comic news, sometimes gaming news, pretty much always movie news, and also pretty much always a movie review. So make sure to ring the like button, smash that bell, and share the video around if you're into that sort of thing, because it does help us out, and we appreciate it. And I have a headache, so...
Smash that bell like I'm gonna stop myself from making that joke because hurricane...
Anyways, I'm giving myself an early birthday present 6 months in advance. And I'm keeping it light and breezy this week, but not tropical storm hurricane wind breezy. Actual
Jesus
breezy.
Christ. Well, I guess thank you for doing that for me.
You're welcome. So I'm gonna brush through this real quick. A lot of actors are dead this week.
A lot of people have died this... Okay, hold on.
Oh, God.
Oh, why am I like
We're
this?
off to a real great start. Anyways, I'm just gonna gloss over this because these are all actors who have had a very interesting, prolific career, of which I mostly only know them for one thing because I don't have enough time to watch all the movies I'd like to watch, which continues to haunt me. So, in no particular order, Dame Maggie Smith has passed away, probably best known as Professor McGonagall in the Harry Potter movies. John Ashton is also passed on. I recognize him as John Taggart from Beverly Hills Cop. He is the one who has the least amount of patience for Eddie Murphy's nonsense.
Understandable.
He did not want to go to that strip club, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah.
And then Chris Christopherson is also dead, unfortunately. And the thing I most recognize him from is he was Whistler in the Blade movies. Obviously, the loss represents more than just one particular role, even a bunch of particular roles, because it's always sad when a human being moves on. But I'm not going to dwell on it, because this week, like I said, has sucked enough, and frankly, I don't have time to get into it. It makes me sad.
Yeah, indeed. It's been a sad week on the creative movie front when it comes to people's passings, So
rest in peace all around, and condolences to anybody personally impacted by that loss.
Indeed.
We got a state of play this week from Sony.
We did. We got a confirmation of a Lunar collect. That's the only thing that came from the State of Play that I directly care about, in all honesty. They are remaking or remastering Lunar 1 and 2, I'm assuming exclusive to PS5. I'm honestly curious how that got together, considering I don't think working design exists anymore, as far as I'm aware. But yeah, they're remaking Lunar 1 and 2, which I am totally not annoyed by because I own the physical copies of both of those games and I barely touch them.
Well, look on the bright side. Now you've got those on your shelf to just look cool and be a part of gaming history, and now you can actually play the remaster. Or you could just play the originals and not bother with the remaster.
I mean, honestly, I'm probably just gonna finish playing the originals because I don't have any desire to buy a PS5 anytime soon.
Valid.
And I've also been putting off playing them more to begin with. I started playing Lunar 2 first, and then I learned from looking it up, don't play Lunar 2 if you haven't played the first one, because you'll spoil the first one. It's like, but it's so much fun! So I like these games, but I am slightly annoyed by it. And it's also a thing of, I will say from the gameplay that was shown in the trailer, it's still the same general style of gameplay, turn-based RPG, sprite character models, but with fully anime-ass animated cutscenes, which I think was done by Katakawa, if I remember correctly. But it's a weird thing for me in that aspect, because it seems like they're redoing the voice lines. And the thing about it is that the Lunar games have absolutely awful English dubs. But they're the kind of English dubs that circle back around to being just absolutely wonderful because of how bad they are. And to that end, it's one of those things where if they're redoing the English dub, then I have no desire to play the game.
I like this better when it was worse.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of like, in a weird backwards way, and I acknowledge it's backwards because the English dub was purposely bad because it was funny. It's kind of like a Ghost Story situation.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the English dub of Ghost Stories,
You're missing out. You are missing out hardcore.
Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, but it's a self-aware bad English dub because of reasons, and everyone who's doing voice acting is very aware of what's going on. This is a collection of people, I feel like, genuinely trying their best at it coming out badly, but that makes it great, because it's kind of like a testament of what it was in its time, if that makes sense.
No, I get you.
But we had that. I mean, there were a few different things from Tokyo Game Show in general.
Oh, that also happened, didn't it?
Yeah, the State of Play was part of Tokyo Game Show, from what I gathered.
Oh, okay. Man, I've been out of the loop.
Yeah, because Tokyo Game Show was this past weekend. I would say there's a pretty good chance that there was very little that either of us really want to talk in depth about, though. I figured for you, the big thing would be Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Yeah, you could play as Keanu Reeves. Cool, whatever.
Now, is Keanu Reeves voicing that Shadow, too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Yeah, it was that. We got the trailer for the live-action Yakuza Like a Dragon series that's going to be coming out on Prime, I think? And it looks really cool. I'm not deeply familiar with Like a Dragon because I've only just started playing 0, but I have Yakuza 1 and 2 for PlayStation 2 on myself, so I'm going to jump on those once I finish 0. But I did watch the trailer. I'm just doing this short because it's not really going to be part of trailer time, but it does look genuinely pretty cool. There's a mutual friend of ours who's a lot more into Yakuza than both of us are, so I'm definitely going to poke his head about it. But yeah, it looks really cool, and I'm definitely interested in it to see like how it turns out.
I just imagine you going up to him and poking him on the head going, "Hey!
Hey, Poke, tell me about the Yakuza live-action trailer and what you think."
Like a dragon, what you think? Oh, man.
Yeah, I mean, we got a few other, like, kind of noteworthy announcements. Again, for things that I don't really care much about, like Ghost of Tsushima, the sequel was announced, Ghost of Yotai. There's going to be a Horizon Zero Dawn remastered, apparently.
And a Lego version?
Oh, yes, there is also a Lego version. Sony talked more about the PlayStation 5 Pro, big fucking whoop. I do not care about that system, man.
Yeah, me neither. There's one in my house and I barely touched it.
Yeah, no. There's only a couple things I would want to get a PS5 for, and those things are not strong enough to get me to drop 500. It's literally like 2 games, and it's like, all right, I can't justify buying a whole ass $500 console for 2 games.
No, I get you.
I don't know. The big thing I was hoping for was anything regarding the next Ace Combat game, but nothing there. So what can you do?
Yeah, I'm very behind on games. I got Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, and I still haven't even opened it. It's still shrink wrapped.
I mean, I kind of feel that because the main thing I've been playing, being a giant racing game fan and all, the main thing I've been playing more than anything else over the last couple weeks is Emio the Smiling Man.
Alright.
Yeah, because it's like completely off from anything else I would normally play, but it's a wonderful, very, very, very slow burn of a video game.
I mean, said with the greatest affection, you enjoy reading trashy manga, so I'm not surprised that visual novels also click with you.
Yeah, but the thing is that this is actually good.
Fair.
This shit is actually good. It actually has good writing, and I'm not subjected to boobs bigger than the character's head every 5 seconds, so...
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Now, that one, if you want to cut that, I will not care.
Nah, that's funny. It's better for
okay. But yeah, I know there's other things that happened at TGS this weekend, but it wasn't anything that really garnered my attention. From what I've gathered from reading up on people's reactions, apparently this year's Tokyo Game Show was a little bit on the weak side. Not super surprised by that for the most part.
Maybe they're saving all the good stuff for E3 this year. Or next year, I mean. Yeah.
At E3, the gang's all here, yeah.
Oh, that's tough. That's real tough.
It really is. I know that people make fun of E3, and rightfully so, for just how ridiculous and continuously worse it got over, like, the last 10 years of its life, but God, it really was an institution. I remember one of the best events of a summer I had was just all of us getting on a call together, watching and reacting to E3 live, and it was amazing.
Yep.
Those were the days.
Even
though I'm pretty sure that was like no more than 6 years ago.
Like sand in an hourglass. These are the days of our lives.
Indeed.
I got one bit of movie news this week.
Oh boy.
And it's that, apparently, DC Studios is currently working on a movie that is going to star Bane and Deathstroke.
Live action?
I don't know.
Okay.
All we know is a script is being developed.
I mean, as someone who, I'm much less into DC than I am into Marvel, of course I know that both Bane and Deathstroke are big bads, but is it unusual for them to be in the same thing together?
I don't know that they've ever really teamed up on anything. Admittedly, I'm not as big of a DC fan as I am a Marvel fan either, but I don't think they've been on anything. It's also kind of weird and a little frustrating because since this hasn't been officially announced, I feel like we're back in the age of, oh, we've leaked that DC is working on this thing, and next thing you know, there's 20 different projects that we know are potentially happening in some capacity, but nothing gets done on any of them. And there's no reason to believe that's going to be the case here. I'm just worried from back in the days of, oh yeah, we're getting a movie about the trench. Remember those freaky fish guys from Aquaman who eat everything? Yeah, we're making a movie about them, except it was secretly a Black Manta movie, but we canceled it because nobody was interested in a movie about the trench. What? Anyways.
Poor decision making in movies, like peanut butter and jelly.
They really do go together. I don't know if they taste great in this case, but...
Right.
It's maybe like peanut butter and aspic jelly.
I mean, if anything, it's still coarse and uncomfortable, and it gets annoying really quickly, so does that mean that...
Sand?
No, I'm saying it's like, in that aspect, peanut butter and jellies are wonderful, but if they stick to the roof of your mouth, they suck, so I guess that's the allegory with the movie industry in that aspect.
I got it. It's sand and crunchy peanut butter. Both are coarse, irritating, and stick to the roof of your mouth, among other places.
It's rough and coarse and gets everywhere. And takes all of your money.
I don't know, I'm not against more villain projects, I guess, on the face of it, but it would be nice if they weren't all Batman bad guys, and I know Deathstroke isn't a Batman villain.
Yeah, or at least isn't directly a Batman villain.
Yeah, he's been kind of shoehorned into being considered one because they were going to use him as the bad guy in The Batman back when Ben Affleck was still set to direct and star in it when it was going to be part of the DCEU, but Deathstroke has always historically been more of a Teen Titans / Nightwing villain.
Right.
At least to the best of my understanding. But also, I don't care. I hate Deathstroke. He's a creep. I don't hate him in the love-to-hate villain way. I hate him in the way of, he's a fucking creep. He's a goddamn ephebophile. He's a goddamn fucking absolute fucking predator, and the fact that people keep trying to give him noble goddamn traits in spite of all this is disgusting. Alright? I'm not saying villains can't have nuance. Yeah. I'm not saying villains can't be despicable rat bastard pieces of shit, because they can. Maybe don't give those villains their own fucking books and try to play up that, oh, maybe they're not all that bad. Yes, they are. Shut the fuck up.
Slade is the guy that Diddy bought all of his bottles of baby oil from.
Hell! Fucking got him! Well done!
On my side in that aspect, for me, it's been a great week.
Oh, fucking got him, man.
Ladies and gentlemen, they got him.
Oh. I mean, I don't know that Deathstroke's ever been part of the team. Maybe it's a Secret Six project? The Secret Six it's a bunch of bad guys doing stuff. Typically 6 of them, hence the name. But... Right. I think that was a Gail Simone series, or at least one run of it was.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think Deathstroke's ever been part of that team, but I mean, they could swap him out for Deadshot, I guess. Not because they're similar characters, but because I'm sure some oh wait, no, it's James Gunn and Peter Safran running this, so... I was gonna make a joke about, I'm sure some executive is like, well, they both got dead or deaf in their names, and then another word starting with S. They're the same character, right? Nobody will know.
Yeah, for real. People can't read, it's fine, but we sell paper comics for money. Nobody reads, it's fine.
Yeah, no, all good. Yeah, whatever. But, yeah, no, I mean, I guess the project has some promise to it. I don't want to dismiss it out of hand, even though also I'm kind of sick of Batman villain spin-offs conceptually. I say that. I keep saying I'm sick of Batman stuff, but every time Batman stuff comes out, except Joker, I go, this is pretty alright.
Yeah.
Hell, I think The Batman is one of the best Batman movies you've ever gotten.
I would agree with that.
Which is crazy, because I was so not sold on it in all the lead-up.
You know what? I forget who I was talking to, but I was talking to someone recently about that, and how they were saying they went in on the Batman hate train and fully expected to hate Batman, and then not even halfway through, they're just like, no, this movie's really good. God damn it.
Yep. Now, hopefully, they roll back on Bane being Tom Hardy-ish.
Hmm.
You know, hopefully they give him... Because Bane historically is... You know what, I'm not going to step in that puddle specifically because I don't know what I'm talking about and I don't want to just shove my foot in my mouth, but he's not usually white, as I understand it.
Right.
I know that much.
I mean, I figured it was just going to be a thing of, like, you don't want to see Bane and just hear him go, Eddie!
Eddie, I have an idea! We killed the Batman!
You merely molded into the darkness. I was born into it. Or, I can't do Venom's voice to save my life, so...
You merely adopted the bat hate. I was born in it, molded by it, Eddie. Anyways, I guess we'll see if this goes anywhere. It might not. Again, this isn't an official announcement. This is just The Hollywood Reporter got a source that says, yeah, they're working on this, and they're running with it. So this might not get anywhere.
Right.
Guess we'll find out. Let's go to trailer time.
Let's do trailer time.
Alright. It's trailer time again! We've got movie previews to watch! It's trailer time again! So, we have got the first trailer for... Oh, God, I hate this title. From the World of John Wick, Ballerina.
I don't like that that's actually part of the title.
The only reason I'm okay with it is because you could not logically call it... No, wait,
just
no.
Ballerina.
You could just call it Ballerina. I was gonna defend it with, you couldn't call it John Wick Ballerina, because everybody would be expecting a completely different thing.
Right.
Arguably a better concept?
Well, it would be a more interesting concept.
I'm just imagining John Wick wearing a leotard and tutu going, plie, relevant.
I don't know. I mean, it's about on the same level as the whole thing of, what was it, like Hobbs and Shaw, a Fast and Furious saga or something like that.
I think this looks a little bit better than that.
Well, title-wise.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, talking about the title specifically.
Oh, you mean the fact that it was called Fast and Furious Presents Hobbs and Shaw. Okay.
Yeah. It's the kind of thing, it's like, you could just call it Hobbs and Shaw, and it'll be fine. No, this looks fun.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm honest, from what I've seen, there's not too much being done differently here. It's just that instead of getting Keanu Reeves, you get Ana de Armas. So it's like, if you want more John Wick, but you want our protagonist to be even more attractive, there you go.
Which, of course, means I look forward to seeing a certain subset of the internet complaining about how John Wick is more like John Woke now. Am I right, fellas? Up top? Can a guy relate? No.
Right.
Shut the fuck up about that.
You're right.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I hate how now I get stressed out anticipating that kind of bullshit.
It's palpable. But so far they haven't had so much power that it actually influences how movies go from what I've witnessed.
Yeah. But no, I like the bit where she stabs that guy. That was really cool.
That was really sick. The whole thing of her gunning a guy down and just quickly taking out a magazine from a belt underneath her dress was really cool.
Yeah, it was.
It was a thing of, obviously, Ana de Armas is a talented actress, and she can be a very good fighter, as evidenced by her way too short amount of time in No Time to Die. But it was a thing of, part of me was just, I mean, she's good, but can she really do the whole John Wick thing? Because that's become a staple of action movies over the last 10 years. And then that happens, like, yeah, we're good.
Yeah.
We don't have to worry about shit.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
And hey, Keanu Reeves is in it himself, because I guess this is set between Chapter 3 and Chapter 4 of John Wick, so...
Yes, yeah, it is, which I'm curious to see how that works out, considering... No, there is actually a good amount of downtime between those movies, so...
You're right, alright.
Because I was thinking of the ending of 2 and the start of 3, because 2 ends with John Wick running, and 3 starts with him picking up where it left off, so...
Yeah, 2 and 3 is instant.
Yeah, so that should be fine.
Also, nice but bittersweet, we get to see Lance Reddick again. Because he was at the desk, welcome to the concierge, but he's passed on.
Yeah, but when did he pass? Okay, yeah, because he passed in 23, but principal photography started in November of 2022, so yeah, that tracks. Maybe they at least shot a few scenes with him before he passed.
Yeah. Oh shit, Norman Reedus is in this! He's Pine!
Yeah, he is. I don't know, it's a thing of, I don't really watch a lot of Norman Reedus things, because in my mind, his brain has been just kind of mixed up with Law and Order and whatever Kojima's working on. But it's a thing of, oh wait, that's right, you are doing things outside of video game stuff, so yay.
No, this looks like a John Wick movie, so
Yes.
looking forward to it. I think this is going to be good.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good time.
And then we also got a trailer for Ryan Coogler's upcoming horror movie, Sinners, and that's all I needed to hear. I didn't even need to watch the trailer. I just needed Ryan Coogler horror movie, done, in, sold, hit me with it.
Yeah, it was a thing of, I kind of forgot who he was, and then when they said from the, producer of Black Panther, it's like, alright.
Director, thank you.
Or director. Yep, that I'm cool. I'm good. I'm already on board.
Starring Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, I know, but even without that, this looks cool, it looks sinister, it definitely looks very scary. Although, not, the full suspense scary. It seems like it's going to be kind of a fun mix of being both a horror and an action movie.
Yeah!
So, that's got my interest as well.
I guess when it was initially, the bidding war went up for the script or the distribution rights to the movie, it was described as a period genre vampire film, which, yes! Yes!
Okay.
I love those.
Hold on a minute. Is this some... I'm pretty sure this is a different movie, but I remember seeing something very recently about there's apparently some kind of movie that's either being made or coming out where the basic premise is there's a vampire, and I guess the vampire's hunting down, members of the clan or some shit.
I need to know what this is. Hold on a second.
Yeah, I just saw a blurb about it this past week.
Oh, there was a rumor about this movie.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Alright.
Not confirmed, but...
I mean, if someone made that, I would be completely on board. It's like, I don't know, I have a particular, most people generally do, most reasonable people do, but I have a particular distaste for the Ku Klux Klan. So it's like, yeah, I will absolutely pay to see a movie of just, a vampire going around and fucking up the Klan shit.
Yeah, it's like watching Nazis get fucked up. You kinda can't fucking miss.
Yeah, it's like...
Or at least you shouldn't be able to miss!
Yeah, exactly.
Also, Delroy Lindo, Haley Steinfeld, and Wunmi Mosaku are in this, so hell yeah!
Yeah, this is a stat cast.
No, I'm very excited for it. When it's come out March, shit!
Fuck! Right.
That's too far away.
Indeed.
But I guess we have to persevere anyway. On the less engaging, but hey, Lawrence Fishburne is in it side of horror movie trailers, we've got Cellar Door.
So, I made the mistake of watching Cellar Door right after seeing the Sinners trailer, and it's just like...
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this is yeah, this is not hit. This is not hit at fucking all.
No, definitely not. So, there's probably some kind of monster in there or something.
Yeah, there's some kind of monster, or maybe it's the corpse of his wife and daughter or some shit.
Or maybe he's the monster and he still lives in the cellar.
You know what? That would be a pretty interesting twist, honestly.
Yeah, maybe Lawrence Fishburne is a werewolf or something.
Mm-hmm. That would be neat.
Shit, I think I just talked myself into being a little bit interested in this. That's not good.
As I say, you've done more to talk yourself into it than to talk me into it, in all honesty.
Well, what if I said that the lead actress was Mia Toretto?
So I know that. I recognize that. And it's still a thing of, this is... I don't know, it's just something about it. I was like, this is not... Lawrence Fishburne is the most interesting part of this whole thing.
Yeah.
If I'm,
the thing about old houses, they all have their deep, dark secrets. Okay, you're a murderer and or Satan?
Yeah, for real. Honestly, that was the bit where it's just like, oh, you are so the bad guy in this. You are absolutely the antagonist.
Limited release on this one, I think, which... I mean, I might still try to check it out. I say that, but man, my schedule has not been conducive to seeing more than one movie a week lately.
Oh, yeah.
Which is very unfortunate this week, but we'll get into that.
Oh, yeah.
But then, just today, we also got a trailer for Nosferatu.
I am strangely sold on this movie.
Period genre vampire films are great.
You were already sold.
I'm so excited, I'm bouncing up and down in my seat.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, Renfield is a great example of a movie where it's a more modern meta vampire movie, but I also like movies where people have no clue what a vampire weakness is because it's in ye olden times and they have to figure this shit out from scratch, and it's just some implacable, unkillable death beast like in Last Voyage of the Demeter. Hell yeah! Bring it on!
Yeah. I mean, I was already definitely very interested in this. But yeah, this trailer like fully sold me, 100%. The vibe in it is just insane.
How'd they get all those rats? How did they corral all those rats? Some of those rats have to have gotten out, yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Plus, I mean, you got Bill Skarsgård, you got Nicholas Hoult, Aaron Taylor Johnson, Emma Corrin, Willem Dafoe, Ralph Ineson. Fuck yeah.
Emma Corrin, fresh from playing... It is amazing. I don't know a lot about her, but it is a thing of like, oh, it's Cassandra Nova. She's back.
Them.
Oh, my bad.
No, I've been trying to correct myself on it, too, so...
Fair.
It's just fresh in my mind.
Yeah, but it is a thing of after Deadpool and Wolverine is like, oh, I will absolutely take more of you. You were a treat. Oh, why are you like this? I don't know. I wish I knew.
But no, it just looks so atmospheric and it's grim, and Robert Eggers is just generally a pretty damn good filmmaker.
Mm-hmm.
Yes! I might have to break my rule. I might have to go see a movie on Christmas.
Oh, is this coming out on Christmas Day?
This is coming out Christmas Day.
God damn it. I don't want to... Oh. Even though I really want to see this is not enough for me to break my particular, like, Christmas truce.
No, I don't blame you either. I might just push it back to that Thursday and say, sorry guys, can't make the stream seeing Nosferatu, but...
I mean, if that's the case, I will more than likely join you.
But dang, it's tempting. It's really tempting.
Mm-hmm. Now, I'll have to rewatch the trailer, both trailers, just to make sure I didn't miss it, but have we seen any of Bill Skarsgård as Orlok in this?
Not really, no. They're keeping him pretty close to the chest. We saw his hand, at least. He has the locket at one point.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be what I'm interested in, is how do they dress up Bill Skarsgård to look like Count Orlok?
Well, he's probably going to look like the Dracula from Last Voyage of the Demeter, because that's the more...
Is that, like, a more accurate?
I wouldn't say accurate, but it's definitely the more... When you want Dracula to look like an animalistic beast, that's what you make him look like.
Right. Okay.
Oh, I can't wait. It's beginning to look a lot like Vampire Christmas.
Yeah, it's getting to look a lot like Bloody Christmas.
Yours is better. Well done. Good job. Nice work.
Thank you.
Let's go to box office.
Let's do the box office.
We did not see the highest grossing movie this weekend.
Not at freaking all.
No. First place was The Wild Robot, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah, $35 million domestic weekend and total
against...
Ooh. Oh, did you just look up Megalopolis?
Well, I already knew Megalopolis, but I didn't know that the gap was that big.
Yep.
Okay.
$53 million worldwide total. And that's against a $78 million budget, so it's doing pretty alright so far.
Yeah, that's not terrible.
It also sounds like it was a pretty good movie, which I'm a little skeptical based on the trailers, but now I'm feeling like maybe I missed out, maybe I need to try and go check that out, but we'll see. I mean, we'll get into it, but maybe I'll have some time this weekend, who knows.
Right.
Megalopolis took 6th place.
Oh wow, it was 6, I thought it would be lower than that.
$4 million domestic weekend and total, no worldwide release info yet. But a $120 million budget.
Yes.
About what it deserves. If I'm honest.
Yeah. This movie's not good.
It's really not.
No, not at all.
And yet, I find myself struggling to say don't watch it. Not in theaters. Don't go see it in theaters.
Do not see this in theaters. It is not worth a movie ticket to see in theaters.
I'll rip that Band-Aid right off. It's not worth that.
Mm-hmm.
But once it's streaming, maybe watch it with some friends, possibly while high or drunk, and try to figure out what the hell is going on.
No, I did think this is a movie that I feel like we should watch for one of our movie nights with everyone else, because at a certain point, I was actively stopping myself from just riffing on the movie right then and there in the theater.
Oh, I caught myself at one point too, so no worries.
Yeah, if there's anything that's good about this movie, if you're into riffing movies with your friends, this movie is prime for it, because it's just dumb. It's the kind of dumb where you have someone who thinks and acts like they're smarter than everyone else and talks in long, large, verbose sentences that nobody understands. You're just like, English, motherfucker, do you speak it? And then they give some weird philosophical answer on why they do not, in fact, speak English.
Yeah, this movie's pulling a me, basically. At my worst.
Well, you're not that intolerable, though.
Thank you. I needed that.
Yeah, this is not a great film, in all honesty. And it's a shame considering who's in this movie.
And considering it's Francis Ford Coppola, who has been working on this for a very long time.
Yes.
I believe He's had the idea since
the 70s, right?
Yeah, he's had the idea since the 70s. I think he started working on it in the 80s in terms of developing the script or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But, ugh. And I mean, obviously a lot of stuff has happened since then, like his wife passed away, which is very tragic.
Right.
He also, allegedly groped some extras on set, so...
Also not good.
Grief works in mysterious ways, I guess.
Calm down, Harvey Weinstein.
Jesus. Fucking Christ.
That was mean.
That was pretty mean.
I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize to me. Damn.
I mean, if I'm honest, I don't know a lot about the man, but from what I've read up on him, I'm like, I could see him saying that.
But the cast is also solid.
The cast is solid. Because we've got Adam Driver, Giancarlo Esposito, Natalie Emanuel, Aubrey frickin' Plaza.
You've got some actors who were cancelled, according to Francis Ford Coppola, i.e., some of them accused of sexual assault stuff, like Shia LaBeouf. But
I was just say, it's one of those things where, no. So in that aspect, yeah, Shia LaBeouf's actions in this movie do not help.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Although it's funny because after we saw this movie, well, it took a day or so, but I went onto the movie subreddit to see what people were saying, and there was a bit where someone says, like, okay, Aubrey Plaza and Shia LaBeouf, they felt like were the more entertaining parts of the movie, and they had it in their head that, in between scenes, one of them walked up to the other, is like, hey, so this movie is bad. Like, I'm not crazy about thinking that it's bad, right? And then their other person's like, oh, we're on the same page. Excellent. Then we are just going to do whatever the fuck we want. And once I read that, it's just like, you know what? That does make these two people in particular a lot more entertaining to think about after the fact. Should we... How do we talk about this?
I don't know.
I'm struggling to even figure out a good way to do the general premise, in all honesty. Because the problem is that part of the premise, I think, kind of spoils the movie in the long run, too.
So, our ostensible main character is Adam Driver's Caesar Catalina, who is a renowned genius, inventor, architect, artist, Renaissance man, I guess?
Who also has a complete disregard for science.
Yeah, we never really see... He's supposed to be some kind of brilliant science man, and we never see him doing any science!
Yeah, and also just actively defies the laws of physics, which was given away in the trailers.
Yeah, no, he's got some weird time stop power, which might just be a metaphor for his ability to, I don't know, stop everything and focus on art around him or something. I don't even know. It's probably a metaphor, I just don't know what is.
Yeah. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is this movie in a nutshell. Just what
yeah.
what Cody just said. That is this movie boiled fucking down.
I also find it really funny how it feels like a very pervasive theme of this movie is stodgy old boomers need to step aside and relinquish their iron grip on the tainted society we live in and let visionaries step forward and start making changes that will get us to a better age, when Francis Ford Coppola, as far as I can tell, is one of those stodgy old boomers.
Yeah.
That's really fucking funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
And by funny, I mean a little frustrating.
Yeah, just a tad.
So, Caesar Catalina, Adam Driver's character, is in constant opposition with the mayor, Cicero, who is Giancarlo Esposito. Also, a lot of these characters have names analogous to prominent figures in the Roman Empire.
Yes.
Which is fitting because they're in the city-country state of New Rome.
And apparently it's a country, not country location called the American Republic.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is very funny. So, the city is called New Rome. I don't know if you saw it, but at one point, very early in the movie, when they're going around taking shots at all the Roman buildings in this, there's a shot that's a picture of the New York Stock Exchange, and I know this because there is a flag on the building that says New York Stock Exchange.
That's pretty good.
It was one of those blink and you miss it kind of deals. When I saw that, I was just like, who the fuck mixed that? Holy shit, that's amazing.
So, Caesar's trying to create this megalopolis, this idealized future city within the city, dedicated to art and understanding and compassion and love and what have you, and Cicero is very much against this, decrying Caesar as a cad and a flagrant disregard for humanity-izer and what have you. And naturally, Caesar does what all brilliant men do when faced with an ad hominem attack on their character. He launches into quoting Hamlet.
Just insert the meme of, like, the confused black guy just, like, looks at the camera with all the question marks around his head.
Which just kind of... that really does tell you everything about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, actual points being made by opposition that could expose some greater depth of character? Nah, Hamlet soliloquy.
Hamlet, boy.
And, oh, right, Caesar isn't some self-made brilliant inventor either. No, his uncle runs the bank.
Yeah.
Which is great. And he's got a bunch of cousins who are all sleeping with each other, one of which played by actual cannibal Shia LaBeouf.
And then another who's actually not one of his cousins, played by oddball singstress Aubrey Plaza.
Oh yeah, she's not related to him at all, except that they're banging.
Yes.
At least at the start of the movie, and then he calls it off.
Yeah.
Ostensibly because she wants to marry him for love, and he says never do that, but he changes his mind on that later, which one might say is character development, but if you're being generous...
Yeah, if you're being very generous indeed.
No, it's probably character development. He's brilliant, don't you know? He's brilliant but detached, and he needs to rediscover his humanity, even though his entire project is a humanitarian one. Although maybe it's he's only interested in humanity as a greater pet project to advance his own ego and feeling of superiority, and he has to discover the actual humanity buried underneath, but what the fuck do I know?
Honestly, I feel like that's what we're going for initially in this.
Yeah, it's just not conveyed very well.
No, but it was a thing of, we'll get into spoilers about it, but that's definitely feels like what he was going for initially.
But, no, Adam Driver's a better man than I. Turned down sex with Aubrey Plaza.
Yeah, honestly, same.
Did we discuss her character's name? Because I almost said wow. And then I realized I'm falling right into the trap.
Wow.
Her name is Wow Platinum.
Her name is actually Wow Platinum, which... I don't know, I know it's a spoiler, but it's something that even the movie goes, it's like, how did you get the name WoW Platinum? And it's never expanded upon. It's like, no, these are the questions I need answered. Who the fuck names their child WoW Platinum?
Oh, speaking of Lawrence Fishburne, who we mentioned earlier in this because he's in the Cellar Door trailer, he's also Caesar's basically right-hand man, who is constantly monologuing to himself in the corner.
Yes, indeed. As much as I love Lawrence Fishburne, I'm just sitting here going, he wishes he was the narrator of Kaguya-sama Love is War, but it's not that good.
If it was a little more sinister, I'd swear he was doing a Frank Underwood.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of surprised they didn't get Kevin Spacey for this, considering some of the people who were in it.
Yeah! I mean, it's the thing of, like, when he said it's including people that were canceled. Wait, is this going to be Kevin Spacey's, like, theatrical renaissance?
Nope, not involved. Thank goodness.
Indeed.
But I've already forgotten where I was on this
train wreck.
Natalie Emanuel is Julia, who is the daughter of the mayor, and
a key component of the movie.
For reasons, I think originally because of the disagreement that Cicero and Caesar get into, she tries to work for Caesar, and I think it's supposed to be an undercover thing at first. But then they end up falling in love, not very convincingly.
Not at all.
And more struggles happen. And it's all over the place. It's,
I mean, this movie is all over the place. This is... Oh my fucking god, dude.
I feel like I could describe what happens in any given Kingdom Hearts game more easily than I can describe what happens in Megalopolis.
Yes, that's the case too. And...
Which, on the one hand, is a scathing indictment of how much time I've invested in the Kingdom Hearts series.
But it's also a scathing indictment of this movie.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because I think it's the first time where we've actually struggled to genuinely come up with a good way of describing a movie. I think we've even had better luck with movies that we have seen individually that the other person hasn't seen.
Yeah, no, it's been easier. I've had an easier time than this.
Yeah, for real. Even the movie has that issue at some points, considering that there's a particular plot device that it completely forgets about for 3/4 of the movie.
Oh no, that isn't forget, that's just foreshadowing. But I don't understand the purpose.
Yes.
Bunch of clear parallels to the excesses of the Roman Empire. I'm sure there's some kind of statement there about America facing its own impending empirical collapse.
Yeah, that was the only allegory that I was able to kind of pick up on. Because one of the themes, or one of the talking points through the movie is things in this nation are going to shit as it is, and there are people who are constantly trying to fight for it, but the smart thing to do would be let it all just die out, and then let young, smart, adventurous, and risky people come and try and build something bigger and greater from the ashes of once was, because the ashes of once was already something really great and really powerful, so who's to say that the new thing won't be even more great and powerful, just under better leadership.
As told to us by this 85-year-old man.
Yes! And it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I see what you're going for, because that is something I've seen in some discussion topics, especially with current climates around the country and all that, but it's a little bit on the nose.
Just a teensy bit.
It's on the nose in a way that it automatically kills any interest one would have in having that discussion to begin with, because the way that the discussion is presented in the format of this movie is still in a horrifically pretentious and I'm smarter than you kind of way. So it already takes people out of it from the get-go. And it's made especially worse by the end of the movie, for me personally, because the way that it ends and what's shown at the ending is just a thing of, alright, please stop. Just calm the fuck down. Zip your pants back up. We get it. Now you're just engaging in public indecency to everyone around you.
I will say the set designs are interesting.
The set designs are neat.
Visually, it's a interesting movie when it's not weighing itself down in a bunch of weird stuff that exists primarily just to have trippy visual symbolism and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
But on their own in a vacuum, the set designs are pretty cool.
Yeah, that's kind of neat.
I find it really interesting how Caesar has nothing to do with resolving the plot for the most part. Things just kind of happen around him.
Yeah, they kind of do. And he's just kind of like rides the wave as it goes.
Yeah. Still, it's a decent performance from Adam Driver. Pretty alright one from Giancarlo Esposito. Aubrey Plaza is knocking it out of the park because she seems to have actually keyed into what this movie is.
Yeah, she is fully on board the insanity of this movie, and is just very eager and willing to propagate said insanity. For me, Aubrey Plaza and Adam Driver are definitely the two. Well, granted, it also helps that I already liked them from the get-go. But Aubrey Plaza and Adam Driver are, I think, like, for me, the two standouts, because Adam Driver does his usual Adam Driver thing, because I do think he's a good actor, and he shows himself being a good actor in this. It's just that he has a penchant over the last few years for just being a good actor in really weird and questionable movies. But meanwhile, like we've said, Aubrey Plaza just like fully accepts the insanity of the situation that she finds herself in. Just chaos incarnate. It's so much fun to watch.
And you know what? I'll give Shia LaBeouf props for accurately portraying a psychotic sleazeball. And also doing a good role in this movie.
A psychotic, incestuous sleazeball.
Yeah. I mean, everybody else is trying, but it feels like they're not given enough to work with, / are not sure how to take what they have and really break out of the mold of this into something bigger and crazier.
Mm-hmm.
Adam Driver gets some nuts line deliveries in this.
Yeah, he does.
But I'll save that for the spoiler section, I guess. Think maybe we should go to that?
Yeah, I think so. I don't have anything else for non-spoilers.
Yeah, so I would definitely say this is not worth it in theaters if you have to pay any amount of money to go see it.
Yeah, do not spend money to see this in a theater. But definitely either watch it on streaming at home in your own comfort, or just watch it with friends and just sit there and make fun of it. Because that's probably what we'll do in the future.
Yeah. Although I will say, it occupies a very prestigious spot on my ranked 2024 list so far. It's at lucky spot number 50.
Out of 58.
Out of 58!
Yeah, so I think that really just sets up our overall feelings for this movie.
Right between Madam Web and The Crow.
Let's see. Yeah, no, that works. That's fine.
The thing for me is that The Crow has one interesting scene, and that's it. Megalopolis has a few interesting bits scattered through it, but on the whole is weighed down by its own propensity for just being overwrought and putting on these airs of being smarter than you. And Madam Web, I'll live with you. If not for the Spider-Man clumsy tie-in things, and by clumsy tie-in things, I mean the fact that this whole movie is just an attempt to prolong holding on to the Spider-Man rights, but if not for that, I might think it's a low-key Z-movie masterpiece, frankly. I shouldn't call it a Z-movie, because Z-movies are lower grade than that. Maybe like a D-movie.
Okay.
For Dakota Johnson? I don't know.
I don't know, for me it's like, it would still be, I mean, I know I haven't seen 50 movies this year, but it would be, I feel like I would put Crow above this, but Madame Web would be below it.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's just down to our differences in opinion over...
Yeah.
over what's a good, bad movie.
All of these movies are still bad. All of these movies are still bad. It's just we have different tolerances for bad at that point.
Right. So if you don't want to get spoiled on Megalopolis, make sure to click away in 3, 2, 1. Imagine my surprise to find out every major event in this movie that gets basically glossed over actually happens.
Like the nuclear satellite?
Like the nuclear satellite! I don't know! I thought that was a grim portent of things to come if things weren't fixed, or maybe he used his weird time stop powers to reverse things or something. I don't fucking know. But it's the craziest thing on the planet, because near the start of the movie, we get a bit, there's a start, it's within the first 20 or 30 minutes probably, where some guys are reading a newspaper about some nuclear Soviet satellite that's supposed to crash down off the coast of Labrador and pass harmlessly over New Rome. And then, what is it, 2/3, 3/4 of the way through the movie?
Yeah.
You get a just random-ass orbital shot of... Well, okay, first somebody brings it up that, it's gonna crash into New Rome, and then we see it, and that's the point where my brain broke, because it seems so completely disconnected from anything. Any of the intrigue that's going on, anything else involved with the story, that my brain just went, yes! The famous nuclear Soviet satellite! How could I forget? There it is!
I mean, for me, it was one of those things where, thinking about it later, I remember driving home and thinking about the movie, and I just realized, wait, they used a fucking nuclear satellite falling out of the sky, killing untold number of people, as a fucking MacGuffin, which is just insane. If I remember right, like, at that point in the movie, because one of the big driving points for Adam Driver's character is that he created this new revolutionary substance called, Megalon, that can be used for anything and be used to build anything, and he wants to basically create a new utopia within I think it's supposed to be within Central Park, but there's a lot of pushback to it, and there's, like, people trying to stop his ability to have it happen.
Partly because he's just going through demolishing people's homes willy-nilly.
Yes. And he hits some kind of ridiculous roadblock where he's not being allowed to demolish more homes to build. And it's a thing of, wait, this satellite's coming down. And the satellite does come down. And I actually had to remind you that the satellite did come down.
Yeah, no, I thought that was like, I genuinely thought that was not a dream sequence, but because it's just the fact that when you hear nuclear satellite crashes down, you kind of expect they're going to be living in a wasteland after that.
Yeah, so the satellite crashes down. They show bits of the aftermath of which parts of not New York have been destroyed. And you see, like, the bit of the satellite in the middle of the picture because it has the CCCP logo on it. And I just realized, oh, you motherfuckers. This is going to be how he built Megalopolis. And the area that this satellite destroyed that should be radioactive as fuck and completely inhabitable, but movie doesn't care about radioactive poisoning, apparently.
Oh my god, Caesar Catalina is just the evil insurance company snatching up land from twisters. But it's alright, because he's a revolutionary visionary with ideas for the future, guys. It's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whose side is this movie even on?
Yeah, I can't figure that out. I don't know if this movie's on any side but its own, in all honesty.
Because Caesar's a prick, but ultimately he gets his way at the end and is presented as this big triumphant thing.
Mm-hmm.
But on the flip side, Cicero's presented as kind of a fucking monster, but he still gets to be part of the happy ending at the end. He straight up obfuscated the investigation into Caesar's dead wife in the hopes that it would ruin him, or at least keep him from getting cleanly exonerated of being accused of killing his wife, which Cicero knows he didn't do.
Yeah.
And he's never brought to task for it. I I demand satisfaction! Pulls off a glove, slaps Coppola in the face.
Satisfaction.
I hate how, in trying to analyze this pretentious-ass movie, I feel like I, too, am dipping into being a pretentious asshole.
Just like Cody whips out the glove, slaps Francis Ford Coppola. It's like, Wapa, I challenge you to a duel.
Pistols at dawn!
Oh my god.
He's doing a weird Macarena during that one party.
Somehow that does not narrow it down.
When Wow gets married to his uncle and he's on drugs and Shia LaBeouf doctors footage of him sleeping with a girl who's allegedly underage, but it turns out no, she's actually in her 20s, but it doesn't matter anyway because the footage was apparently doctored.
Yes, and then she turns into Miley Cyrus. This is what happens when you're making a movie over 40 years. Yes. Honestly, part of me just went, I would watch a thing just based on her post this whole terrible thing. I would watch a movie just based on, like, how she's dealing with it, her ascension into, like, Miley Cyrus not giving a fuck, just being free and very sexually liberal and all that, arguably because she just kind of lost it at that point. Because that sounds like it would be a much more entertaining movie than this hot mess.
You know what? I'll give the movie this, even though it was right at the beginning, there was one line that stuck with me, and it's when Caesar accuses Cicero of manipulating people to spend money they don't have, to buy things they don't need, to imitate people they don't like.
Which is extremely relatable. Yep. My man just basically called out capitalism as a whole. And
I swear to God, if you rip that off from Shakespeare...
Yes. I mean, honestly, the bit that kind of lives rent-free in my head right now is when Julius Cicero goes to confront Caesar about his plans and all that and everything that he's doing. And Adam Driver just looks at her and goes, why don't you take your coat and go with your friends and go back to the club. And the way he just, like, shakes his head and all that, it's just like, oh my god, that is legendary.
I think the even better part is the escalating foghorn leghorn thing leading up to it. Where he goes, you think a year of med school entitles you to my time? Entitles me, yes. Entitles me, yes. Entitles me, yes. He went fucking full Benoit Blanc there at the end.
I mean, the way he shakes his head is just going to be a meme in the future. I can feel it.
Yep. Oh, hey, speaking of memes, Crassus kills Aubrey Plaza and well, he doesn't kill Shia LaBeouf, but he shoots him twice in the ass with an arrow. Yes.
And the way it's introduced is just the most ridiculous thing, because, okay, so at this point in the movie, we're jumping a lot in this movie. Yeah, okay, because who gives a fuck?
So for context, Wow manipulates Claudio, that's Shia LaBeouf's character's name, into having an affair and taking over the bank from Crassus, who Wow is now married to at this point because she wants money and power to begin with, and they end up sleeping together, and she insists that he calls her Auntie Wow the whole time, which is weird and creepy, but probably right up Claudio's alley. But yes. So they force Crassus out of the bank, and he has a heart attack, and he actually fakes being more infirm than he is. So they come back from a party or something, and he's just lying in bed with a blanket over him, and he just goes, what do you think of this boner I got? And it's because he's actually hiding a bow and arrow under the blanket.
Yeah, he's like legit just like hiding a crossbow. Oh my god. And it takes forever for it to happen. More than enough time for one or both of them to run the fuck away. But no, he just domes Aubrey Plaza in the chest and kills her, and then just sent 2 up Shia LaBeouf's asshole.
That was... I can't believe they just fucking stood there for that.
Yeah, they did. It's just like, wait, guys, you can leave now, because it's taking forever for him to wind up and kill... And they're fucking dead.
Okay, you know what? One of my favorite bits that I wrote down. There's a bit in WoW outlining her plan of how they're going to take over the bank. There's a bit where the camera's focusing in on a sexy pose of her leg, and there's just, like, rattlesnake noises. What the fuck was that? I know what it's supposed to represent. It's supposed to represent the clear and present danger. But why the fuck? What a fucking weird movie.
It's just such a fucking weird movie. With weird fucking, too.
Yeah. It's hard to even think of things to say in the spoiler section. Alright, here's one. Claudio, obviously Trump. Okay, cool, great.
Yes, yeah. I mean, his right-hand man is actually a fucking Nazi.
Yeah, isn't that interesting? Sorry to get political. I mean, I say that like there's any actual poignant proof of anything in this fucking Francis Ford Coppola made this movie over a course of 40 years, and boy, howdy does it show.
Mm-hmm.
Fired his art department, he did.
Wait, did he really?
Yeah.
Oh my. That's
Fired his whole damn art department partway through. I think he replaced them. Or maybe he didn't. That might explain quite a bit.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Deplorable.
Indeed. Oh, God, I don't know, dude. There's a bunch of other things that happen, but... it's hard for me, personally, to garner up the energy to garner up the ability to make any of it sound interesting, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I feel like we're kind of overselling how interesting this is.
I mean, yes, we are.
Because when you watch it play out over the course of 2 hours plus, it's not intolerable, but it's not great.
Oh, I will say, though, I mean, it's not really related to any of the spoiler stuff, but it is a thing of, I have never checked my watch so frequently in a movie, because, holy shit, this thing goes forever. It's not even, relatively speaking, it's not that long. It's 2 hours 20. It's not, by no stretch of the imagination, the longest movie we have ever watched. We have watched multiple 3 hours movies in the entire time that this show has been going.
But if you told me that this was a 3-hour movie, I'd believe it.
Yeah, this movie makes terrible use of its time, and it just keeps on going and going and going forever and ever.
That's really ironic in a sad way. Caesar Catalina's real power is to make you feel like you're trapped in a screening of Megalopolis forever.
Yeah, because it's like, he can stop time, and the way to do that is to make you sit through this movie.
Ugh. I think I'm kind of out.
I think I'm out, too.
Wow. Is this, in fact, the shortest spoiler section we've ever had? I guess we'll see.
I think so.
Probably not, once you add in all the rambles and stuff.
Yeah, or the times where we just forewent the spoiler section.
But anyways, with our Megalopolis review done, thanks so much for listening, everybody. Again, make sure to share the video around if you did like it, because it really does help us out. You alright there?
Oh, I'm good. I just had to stretch.
Okay. Next week, you might be treated to 2 separate movie reviews, because Greg is still interested in seeing Joker 2.
Against my better judgment.
I'm interested in seeing literally anything else.
With his proper judgment.
I wouldn't call that proper, because at this point, if they did a re-release of The Flash, I might have to flip a coin.
I don't know, it's one of those things where for me, this is one of those Joker 2 as a movie where it's just like, I don't want to really support this, but I gotta know. Morbid curiosity is winning. Hardcore.
So who knows, maybe I'll review The Outrun starring Sharonan, which is also coming out this weekend. Maybe I'll go back and review an older movie, like something that's already come out in a previous week. Maybe I'll watch The Wild Robot and see what that's about.
This man will literally do anything else but watch Joker Part 2, and I do not blame him.
Maybe I'll chew off my own leg live on the podcast. We'll see. Probably not that one, but you never know.
Eating his leg is like, why does my leg taste like almond? Oh no.
Oh dear, wow, yeah, that would be troublesome, wouldn't it?
That would be very problematic.
But regardless of what we end up seeing or talking about, or which body parts we end up chewing off for the amusement of the algorithm.
Right.
This has been Under the Bridge with Cody, aka the Scarlet Troll.
And with Greg, aka Greg.
And we'll catch you all next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye!